Welcome back to our FinTech series. We continue with the company profile snapshot for Scalable Capital, one of the fastest growing wealth tech investment managers in Europe. In this episode, you will learn about their operating model, about their governance processes, about the skills and composition of their team, and also about their partnerships.
It's not back office, middle office, front office with different people doing different jobs. It's cloud computing, APIs, and then a mobile or a web-based front end. And I think if that's how the modern bank or financial institution sets itself up. So if we think about the technologies that we currently use, all of the investment model, all of the processes is built on cloud infrastructure. It allows us to easily scale, allows us to be very flexible. Hence why we have two businesses up and running, one in the UK, one in Germany. And we did that from day one. It was very easy to spin two businesses up. And then the way that we communicate with the front end, so the way if you were to log into the app, it's all through APIs. So the cloud infrastructure and the mobile app that we have and the web-based app, they're separate and they talk to each other through APIs. Which means that we can also talk to other services through APIs. So, for example, when we take payments in, we can use these API communications to automatically match payments, to be able to notice exceptions. We basically remove the whole middle office requirements of the organization, because you can use APIs to be able to securely and efficiently have rules-based communications between the client and your back-end infrastructure. And then the front office is essentially the window into your firm, and it's all delivered online these days. If our client wants to make a deposit, boom, one click, they do it in the app. If our client wants to open an ISA, a few clicks, they've done it in the app. You no longer have to talk to salespeople, advisors, etc., to get this stuff done.
It's one of the reasons we decided to have the company in two countries from the start, because we knew that if we want to grow to be the leading digital investment manager in Europe, we have to solve the problem of being international straight away. So from the very outset, we knew we would have multi-custodian, multi-regulator, multi-currency, multi-language. And from day one, we had to build that. It's a challenge, but now that we've achieved that, it now means that we've got more potential to move across Europe to different jurisdictions if we require.
We have 7 people working for us that have PhDs in statistics, machine learning, the fields which are relevant for financial engineering. They build the models which then run simulations, and the simulations run tens of thousands of paths, testing different things. That's what humans can't do. It's not possible for us to run through 10,000 different scenarios in our head, so that's where we use the algorithms, we use the models to supplement our knowledge, and then ultimately it ends up on the desks of humans, who then check all of the outputs, and they make sure that they make sense.
We're quite heavily skewed towards the engineering and the software side of things. So in our Munich office, we have a team of around 15 software engineers, and then a team of 8 or so financial engineers, as well as some operational teams. In the London office, we have our team of 9 marketing, and then our operational teams in London as well. So we've really tried to harness sort of the best of both worlds, if you will, kind of the man and machine combined. There's human investment professionals involved along certain steps of the process, so calibration of the model, testing of the model. And what the automation allows us to do is run computations which a human wouldn't be able to do in his own lifetime. So that's where technology really comes into it. So once we've calibrated the investment model, every single day the model will run for each client portfolio across every risk category and make a projection of recommendations of what trades should be made. Then humans step back into the process to implement the trades into the market and make sure that we're getting the best execution possible on that side of things as well. So it's kind of that human and automation combined to get the best of both worlds. On the regulatory side of things, you definitely don't have an advantage by being a small company. If anything, the burden, sort of the level that you have to go to in terms of regulation isn't reduced when you're a small company. So if you split it down to two things, the two big regulatory processes we go through, one is the onboarding side of things, which that was something we were able to put in place and go through when we applied for our license to make sure that the regulator was happy with the way we approach things. But then the second part is, and this is the really kind of more burdensome side, is the reporting and the ongoing reporting that's required. So we're early parts of the year, we're just going through at the moment our financial reports for the year, going through our compliance and training for the staff. And these are things that whether you're a huge institution or just a small startup, you have to go through as an authorised firm as we are.
If you think about we're an FCA regulated business, so we have to adhere to exactly the same rules, code of conduct that any authorised firm has to. So that means if it comes to trading requirements, if it comes to systems and controls, we need to build everything in the same way that a traditional institution would. What differs is what we're building. I don't need to have somebody watching what an advisor gives advice about, but I need to have an engineer watching another engineer and making sure that any changes they make sense, and they're not trying to do something which is detrimental to the system. Technology takes a lot of the risk away, but new risks enter, and that's a different skill set as well. Being able to have compliance functions, legal functions, which understand how the business works. It's very different to the traditional skill set of a financial institution.
So in the UK we have a partner custodian, which is Winterflood Business Services. So we'll plug into them by API, and this is something, again, API is really enabling people to connect and keep processes efficient whilst actually working, cooperating together. Similarly for KYC, we work with a KYC partner. So the process for the client is completely, really smooth, a great user experience, but actually in the background we're able to get an approval on their KYC instantaneously and make sure they can keep moving through the process without any hassle. Other institutions look at what we're doing and they like the technology side of technology angle and what we can allow them to do. So it only makes sense potentially that sometime in the future there might be some opportunities to work together.
Primarily, it's going to be about cooperating with banks, also with advisors when we talk about the UK, or sort of bigger private wealth managers. Yeah? I think there is less of an opportunity potentially to work with asset managers, because again, for them it's more about products, and we are more a service company. But I think for them, we have for private banks, wealth managers and advisors, we have a very interesting product, a service basically to offer. So we have a couple of conversations there already, and I think there's some potentially very attractive deals in the pipeline. So I would hope that there will be some announcements made, maybe even this year.
Shortlisted Productions specialise in the production of business video content for corporate clients. Please contact us for a free quote at shortlistedproductions.com.